All right, let's talk about these. Alright guys, today we're going to talk about the 20 round straight profile Mini 14 magazines made by Original Equipment. You get these magazines on CDN Sports. They normally sell out pretty fast, so if they ever come up, you want to grab them as soon as you can. You go for 15 bucks, which is about half of what a Ruger magazine cost. And people ask, well, why would you want to buy these instead of buying Ruger magazine? Well, cost for one. Two, straight profile. A lot of guys don't like this curved profile. It just looks weird in the rifle. This straight profile looks so much nicer when actually in the barrel. When you have a curved mag in, it just looks weird. A lot of us just don't like it. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not our cup of tea. But when you go in straight round 20, look at that. Just looks like a tiny little SOCOM. Can't tell me that's not a good looking rifle right there. I've tried a lot of different magazines, and something you'll encounter in the Mini 14 community is a lot of guys, especially some of the old fellas, they just hate anything that isn't Ruger brand. If it's not Ruger brand name on it, they will not touch it, because they've had bad experiences with the original Tapco magazines. They came out, I don't know when they originally came out, but they were hot garbage. I've heard the newer ones are okay, but the original ones they came out with for the Mini 14 were absolutely useless. A few other companies have tried to make them. Normally they don't work great. Some of them do, some of them don't. I personally have had really good experience with the Pro Mag magazines. Some people don't like those either. I keep trying to make these work in there, but it's almost like it wasn't quite meant for this size rifle. You know, for a while now, I've been looking at ways to change the appearance of my Mini 14. As I'm sure plenty of you know, a lot of guys like to hate on the Mini 14 because of the earlier generations weren't that accurate. They had a lot of issues. And the newer ones, though, they fixed most of the accuracy issues. They're expensive. Compared to an entry-level AR that you're going to get similar performance out of, it's just not price effective, even though I don't like those entry-level ARs. And while I got you here, a lot of people are going to ask why my Mini 14 looks a little different. If you're not familiar with the Mini 14 family, you can get these barrel struts on there that add a stability to your barrel. It's supposed to help accuracy by up to 30%. Some say it works. I don't know if it does, but I certainly think it makes the rifle look a lot nicer. And personally, with this rifle, I'm wanting something that looks good. I'm not too worried about performance with it compared to an AR. I have ARs. If crap hits a fan and I need to grab a rifle, I'm going to grab an AR, not a Mini 14. That's all there is to it. So I'm not too concerned about this thing being perfection. I just want it to look good. Specifically, I want it to look like a miniature M14 or a SOCOM variant, because it's shorter, which is what the 20 round mag really helps pull off. So right out of the box, first thing I notice with these is they are sturdy. You can't bend them at all. Those are really well-made magazines. I've got the green followers in them. My only complaint with them is that these are not self-leveling followers, but it's not the end of the world. I'm going to show you why it's not the end of the world, because I did a lot of reliability testing on these magazines today, which is what I'm going to show you now. Alright, I shot these all day long, put tons of ammo through them. I'm going to try and speed up these clips for you, shorten them up. This first batch is a full 20 round load. All day long, I only experienced one malfunction. Alright, here's the one malfunction I experienced today. All it was spent brass failed to clear the chamber, which my guess wasn't even the magazine's fault. So all in all, when it comes to magazine feeding issues, there just weren't any. Worked fine. Now, let's talk about weight. The weight difference between these two magazines is completely unnoticeable. I don't have a scale fine-tuned enough to weigh something this light, but I can't tell a difference. Loaded, unloaded, they feel absolutely identical in the hand. So you're not going to get any extra weight with this. One thing to be noted for people like myself that like to run a lot of tactical courses, run and gun, stuff like that, you want to know how your magazines are going to interact with your magazine carriers, whether that be chest rig mounted, belt mounted, however you want to carry your magazines, most of which are made for an AR-15 magazine, a stand mag, P mag, something like that. So I went ahead and tried out a few different kinds of mag carriers with the Mini 14's mags, both with the curved and with the original equipment, straight 20s. And the straight 20s work so much better because they're straight. They can easily slide in and out of a magazine carrier without that curvature getting in the way. When you try to run a curved mag, some of them, with some mag carriers, they push out to the side a lot. You're going to catch on stuff. Now these are S-Tac magazine carriers. We've got Kydex inserts into them, so they can really clamp down on the mags, hold them in snug. So that's really handy to have. If you're looking for a magazine carrier, go look at S-Tac if you've got the money. Now, a major complaint a lot of people have about a lot of aftermarket magazines is they don't lock the action to the rear when you're on empty. Well, with these, I did testing on that too, and I can assure you, every time that magazine comes up empty, it's going to lock that to the rear. I have yet to have that fail. And just to make sure, I made sure to test them all multiple times. And as you can see, they all lock back easily. Another thing a lot of people ask about these magazines are how easy do they reload in the rifle? And I can say they reload just as easily as your standard Ruger magazine. Simple. Lock back on final shot, rock it out, fresh one in, right on in there. And I will say, this is a rubberized stock, so any kind of reload tends to like to snag on that mag well there. But with a little practice, you can get pretty proficient at it. Which again, if you do a lot of run and gun, tactical courses, 3-gun, whatnot, that's something you gotta be proficient with is your reloads. And speaking of reloads, here I am just running through all 6 magazines really quickly. So all in all, I absolutely love these. I will never go back to regular curved magazines after this. Unless one day these decide to start failing me, it's going to be my go-to magazine now, and I ordered a whole bunch of them. Like I said, you can get them from CDNN Sports online. They come in stock a couple times a year. They're 15 bucks a piece. They sell like hotcakes. They've been up for sale for a couple weeks now, and they're still in stock, which is not normal. They normally go out within a couple days. So you might go check them out, see if you can still get some. I would if I were you. Also, if you're in the market for a shooting vise of any kind, new sandbags, I suggest trying out the Foam Action Sports. These foam braces are really nice. You can set them at any angle you need. They don't weigh anything. You can trek them around however far you've got to go to get to your range. You can cut them, make them fit whatever you want. So check out Foam Action Sports. They're definitely worth taking a look at. And they're cheap. They're only like 10, 15 bucks, I think. All right, guys. Thanks for checking it out. Hope I answered some of your questions. Got any more questions for me, go ahead and comment down below. Check me out on social media, let Freedom Ping. Catch you next time.